Welcome home, Raiders. This week, Blizz bans bots, and some are caught in the crossfire. We've got some more cool rating stats and a couple of new models to share with you. This is Convert to Raid number 128.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for raiders in the world of Warcraft.
From the Convert to Raid Command Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, today is January 26, 2014, and it is now 11:14 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land. And hello, my name is Pat Crane. I am your host of the show. I'm also called Zug around Airy Peak, U.S., and I'm still raiding with the old Resto Druid. Yeah, you know the thing. You know it. And the players are here as well. From wonderful Seattle. I don't know, wonderful?
Wasn't it Serene Seattle last week?
Serene Seattle, the Emerald City. The Emerald City.
Seattle.
It's Darius.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Yay. I'm good. It actually hasn't rained all week here, so it's actually been really nice. Yesterday it was in the 50s and I went hiking. So,
wow.
Take that, East Coasters.
Yeah, last night for me it was, I think, 3. Great.
Wow.
Perfect. It's awesome. All right.
I don't think the thermometers go that low here.
Right. Well, let's go out to La La Land, Hollyweird, and we'll go visit our friend, the funky monk, Koltrane. I cannot hear you at all. Are you muted? You might be muted.
Fortune cookies.
There we go. There we go. Oh,
wow,
boy.
I think like everyone cheered there for a minute. They're like, he's not there. He's muted.
So excited.
There was much rejoicing.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sorry. That was rookie. That was a rookie mistake.
Well, might as well kick it off one more time. Go ahead.
Fortune cookies say.
Oh, boy.
The best way to get on the good side of the August Celestial Shiji is to gently Pat Crane. Huh?
No.
That's the Crane.
That gets no bongos. That is like negative bongos. What is that all about?
I might have screwed up the delivery. It's the Crane. She.
I understand. You have one job on this show.
Come on. It's about you.
Bongos. No bongos.
Gently, Pat Crane.
I thank you.
I got 10 out of 10 bongos on that one.
All those people typing that are bots.
Yeah, they're all bots.
Right.
They're all bots. Oh,
I got a raffle from Olivia D. Grace. That's right. I got many bongos. Pat Crane.
Yeah.
That was sent in.
Yeah.
By Brian Halinka, the PvP designer for World of Warcraft.
I heard he was submitting a fortune cookie, and because it's Brian Halinka, I'll give him the small applause, but I'm not gonna give him the big applause for that one.
You're crazy. That was great.
That was not great.
That was great. And it has to do with you. It's to gently.
I know. I'm kind of flattered, but at the same time, I can't be because it's still a fortune cookie.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying. But thank you for participating. As always, we love it when everybody gets involved, including those that even work at Blizzard. That's awesome.
I couldn't believe I geeked out like crazy. Like Brian Halinka.
That's pretty cool.
I freaked out.
That's pretty cool. And he's a cool dude.
I got to settle down.
He's a cool dude.
He's an awesome guy. And he's also a very handsome man. Little side note. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I just thought I'd mention.
Well, let's talk about what we've been up to this week in WoW. And let's start. Darius, why don't you kick it off? What have you been up to?
Let's see. I got my rogue to 90.
Wait, hold on a sec. I got big applause for you. There we go.
Woo! So I finally finished that off. I got her to 90. Got some of the timeless gear on there. Bought a couple things. So now I can queue for LFR, and then I stopped playing it.
Yeah.
That's what always happens, right? I mean, it's
Yeah. At least I didn't spend that much gold this time gearing it up. But normally that's what happens is I try to get to the highest LFR I can just by buying gear. And this time I curbed myself. I was like, wait, nope. I'm probably not going to play this soon. Just to hold off.
Yep.
So finally finished that grind. I got him to 90. Man, 85 to 90 is so slow.
It is, unless you're playing a healer or have a healer friend that can carry you through some dungeons and make sure that you're getting lots of XP all the time. I don't know.
Even that's slow when you're trying to do dungeons and the servers go down.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
What happened was the
89 to 90, though, you get a few more dungeon choices. That's what I found this week as well. But I'll get to that in a second. What else has been happening with you? Anything?
Isn't that enough?
That sounds like a lot. That is actually quite a bit. Quite a bit. I was just curious. I got a lot
of flack from Hoki, our resident rogue in the guild. Each time he saw me on,
for having terrible DPS, probably.
He has awful DPS, but
no, you.
Oh, no.
Oh boy.
Just for playing my rogue, and every time I would tell him, no, this is a mistake. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm lost.
Clearly.
Rogues haven't changed much, so Blizzard must be pretty happy with them. Their rotations pretty much stayed the same over the years.
Yeah,
it hasn't really changed at all.
Since like day one. They've just added more abilities. That's it. Colt, what have you been up to this week?
Well, old Koltrane.
Yeah.
Holy cow! I'm so excited.
What?
All right. Now just settle down. Settle down, Pat Crane.
All right. I'm settled.
Now I'm not settled. So, Koltrane, I got to do a little bit of raiding on my monk named Wok Fu. We will Wok Fu. Yes. And the team I got to raid with was called Rectified. Rectified. That's the sounder. I don't have it cut yet, but it's gonna be like that.
All right.
But I got to raid normals on Wok Fu, man, and it felt great. I got back in the saddle again.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
That's really great.
It was really great. I had so much fun. It was great to get back in there because I switched mains. 5-4 hit, and I switched.
Right.
I went from my mage to my monk, and I love it. But I had so much fun, man. Now listen to this: the raid times.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So convert to raid.
Yeah.
Right. We talked. We've got like 90 some different raid teams, and we say to everyone, listen, we have raid teams that raid all hours, day or night. If you're looking for a raid team, we got it. This team raids 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Saturday.
Nice.
What? Yes.
Are they Australian or something? I mean,
no, they're not. They're not Australian. And it's actually perfect for me. It's perfect.
Wow.
Because
6 a.m.?
Yes. So I'm up at 5:30. And I'm locked, stock, ready to rock. I'm good to go. And this is why it's perfect. So I have a crazy schedule during the week. Monday through Friday, I work 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And that's if I don't have to work late. That's a long day.
Right.
So that's crazy. But Saturday, I get done by 10 a.m. I got the whole day still to myself. It's perfect.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's up and early, but it's great because you're having your coffee, you're killing a Mercius. It's like the best part of waking up.
That's cool. So how far did you get in the normal raid?
Well, I'm a little undergeared.
No, we understand. We understand. You've been doing flex mode essentially for a while.
I've been doing LFR and flex. Yeah. So more so LFR. So I'm a little undergeared, but we cleared all the way up to Paragons.
Wow,
so that was cool.
Hey,
congrats.
I'll give you a big applause.
Yes. So it was me and one other guy were a little undergeared, Warg, and so they were kind of helping us get through to help us get some gear and all that jazz. But it was fun. It was like great people, great guys, and just a great time. It felt good to be back in the raiding scene again, man. I missed it. I've been raiding every single tier since vanilla. Right. And Siege of Orgrimmar is the first raid I've ever not actually raided. I had to step back because of work.
Right.
But now with this schedule, I'm just saying that it's it's a definite possibility. So I had a really great time with the guys. So Rectified was the raid team. and it was just awesome. It was great. And also, I got the secrets done on walkthrough.
Nice.
Yeah.
And for that, you get a small applause for that one.
Yay! Happy about that. And now I got to get the no drop Titan runestones, the Titan never drop runestones. I need 12 of those. But first, I got to kill Nalik and stab him with a spear or something. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh,
you can do
yeah.
that. You can do that solo without killing him. Just like kite him back to the entrance of Tot, and the NPCs will handle him.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll try that
it.
maybe after the show.
I found that is nice and all. You can actually, I think I did that on my druid actually.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
If you get a group, it's easy too. But
yeah. Either grab a group from the guild or you can drag them back to the NPCs at the beginning of Throne of Thunder.
Yeah, but it's awesome. It was a great raid team, and actually the times work perfectly for me.
Right.
And yeah, I know 6 a.m. it's early, but man, trust me, you get up, you have some coffee, you're doing your thing, and you get some great raiding in.
I know all about that. I did morning raiding for years.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I did morning raiding for like 2.5 years.
Right.
With Aetheric and a bunch of guys from Kansas City.
Right.
And we would wake up and we'd go, all right, let's go kill some, coffee and blood. I mean, that was essentially what our raid team was all about.
Disgusting.
The guys from Good
terrible.
to the Last Drop. That was our raid team.
Right. Right.
I love those guys.
That's right.
Love those guys.
But I'm going to give them all a shout out in the shout out section.
Cool.
But it was really had a great time. And I didn't screw up that much. I was pretty happy.
Hey, nice.
I was like, all right. I didn't kill myself that much.
Right.
I didn't sit around and buff the raid the whole time.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'm glad. That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
I know that for me this week, I actually did get a level 90. But it wasn't my priest that I've been working on for so long. No, it was my second hunter. I don't know why I did this, but I got another hunter up to 90. So yay me for being a goofball.
what?
But
2 hunters?
Yeah, I know. I transferred him over to Airy Peak because he was 85, and I'm like, well, just for goofing around, whatever. I'll just see what's going on. And then, Darius, you and I actually ran something where you were leveling
dungeons.
you were leveling your rogue, and I'm like, well, that sounds like fun, and so I'll join the guys, and got him up to 89, and then I'm like, well, I can't just stop now.
Right.
So
you're that close.
I know. So I was just like, all right. So then I was like trying to group with like everybody, and I think Jules was running her shaman healer a couple of nights ago, and so I was like, all right, let me jump into a bunch of dungeons with you and blah blah blah, and then I finally finished it out last night at about midnight my time. So
congrats, man.
So yeah, so it's another. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with him. I have no idea. I'm not even touching. I'm not even touching my first hunter.
Another bank alt.
Get that timeless Isle gear rocking and rolling, baby.
It's another GM alt. That's what it
there
is.
You go.
That's all that they are.
Probably had lots of rested XP on that guy too. So
oh yeah.
That was quick. That was the problem with my rogue, is because I was going so fast. I didn't have any rested XP, and man, is that slow.
It slows it down.
It really does. But so it was just kind of a weird weekend, and I think my priest is like 83 or something like that. So I've got another slog to go with him. So we'll see what's going on. We'll see.
83 on a disc priest. You could probably heal Siege of Orgrimmar at that point. Probably do better than a druid.
Solo heal.
Yeah.
Solo heal. Don't forget about that. Okay, so I just want to, before we actually get going into news items, I just want to say one more time, I want to talk about the CTR guild anniversary, because it was kind of a cool week for us as a guild, as a group, and I just want to say once again, thank you guys for all the guys that have come over and been a part of the guild. It's been really amazing, an amazing year of awesome for us on the show, and hopefully it's been an amazing year of awesome for all you guys in the guild as well. And I really want to thank all the officers and all the regular members that make it so fun, all the raiders and all the all the great people that are just kind of like leveling tunes, even if you're just doing that. I mean, it's all this whole big thing was this experiment that actually went right. Which I'm not used to being a part of. I'm used to being a part of experiments that go horribly, horribly wrong. But this one went really right, and we owe that all to you guys. So thank you guys for joining us over this last year. And we're wrapping up our anniversary week, and I just have nothing but awesome things to say about you guys. So
absolutely, I've been getting a lot of in-game whispers from people saying how much they love the guild. They love how everybody's so cool and nice, and it's been just a really great experience. So, so really, thank you to everybody, man, because it's just it's been an incredible ride, man. It's been something else. It's been great. It's
been a lot of fun. It has been a lot of fun. And a big shout out to Turarts, actually, she's our event manager over at the CTR Guild, and thank you very much for putting all the events
going crazy.
Yeah, she has been. She's been working really, really hard. So thank you very much. I want to give her a special shout out for sure. All right, should we move on into other things?
I think we're good.
Oh, okay. The show's done, everybody.
All right.
I gotta go kill Nalik.
It's a whole
stab him with some spear.
Whole 15 minutes of show. That's pretty good for us.
That's right.
I don't know. All right.
I like that. Let's keep doing that.
We should talk about a couple of things before we get into the actual rating news. And the first thing up is going to be Artcraft. The new model. They released a new female human model this week. And Koltrane, I know that you and I had some fun on Gamebreaker talking about this already.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
On Gamebreaker TV. Yes. On the Gamebreaker show. But this is the model that we're seeing right here on the video. And of course now my camera is borked and I can't get it off of that.
So we're going to be staring at this the whole show. That's
pretty much
an improvement. That's an improvement. That's probably a lot better.
I think it is. Oh, there we go. Okay. So oh boy. So guys, so what do you guys think about the new female human model? Darius, why don't you weigh in on that?
Where'd the mustache go?
Right, the porn stash.
Yeah. Oh,
no, these are the ladies. These are the ladies.
Oh, I was gonna say it looks a lot better without that mustache.
Right.
No, I think they look good. For sure. You don't see a whole lot of human female in game though.
You don't.
They just don't. I mean, I don't seem to see them for people that play. Play a class. I don't see a whole lot of human females.
Well, you do on Moonguard. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
holy cow! Not that I've been to Moonguard. I'm just saying I've heard.
Right.
That you see a whole lot of that going on Moonguard. In fact, I saw a Warcraft meme. It said, "Human female character model update: keeping Moonguard subscribed through 2014." Or something like that. I thought that was brilliant.
That's funny. That's good.
That's right.
I mean, it looks really good, and it kind of goes. These models, all these models that they're releasing, look actually really, really good, and I am kind of excited for Warlords of Draenor because I mean, this is gonna be neat to see these new characters roll out, these new models.
Can I
looks
say
like
something?
They gave.
Yeah, go ahead, Colt.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Darius. Looks like they.
I was just say it looks like they gave her a pretty big 6-pack too. Like, looks like she's been working out. So, good on them.
She's doing the Taibo for sure.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, being a hero of Azeroth, you'd think you'd want to be a little bit buff. So,
That's right.
Right. So Colt, what is your thing?
Well, dear Chris Robinson, Senior Art Director at Blizzard.
Yeah.
For future model updates, could they have some clothes on? Simply because what happened to me was I'm at work and I'm on the old monitor and I see a little link and it says, "Hey, new female character model." Oh, great. Clicky, clicky.
Right.
And I click it, and then on my huge 22-inch monitor is a cartoon female in a bikini. Right? At work.
Right.
So right when that comes on, several coworkers decide to walk by, and here I am going, "Ooh, look at this cartoon female in a bikini." So it just looks weird. So everyone's like, what the heck is that? What are you looking at? I'm like, oh no, I'm not looking at like cartoon bikini women. This is like a character model update thing. What? No, it's like, it's cool. It's not like a thing. I'm not like looking, what the heck's going on, man? Nothing. No, it's cool.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's not NSFW. It's just a character model that I'm looking at for the podcast that I do.
That's right. It's innocent, but it doesn't look innocent. So just put some clothes on them next time, man.
Gonna get a call from HR.
That's
tomorrow.
right.
That's right. You have no idea the looks, and now they're like. So now when I walk in the room, they're like, oh, hey man, how's it going? I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
Don't invite him over this weekend. He's a perv.
That's right. So can we please put some clothes on for round 2? Just come on. I'm just saying.
What did they say when the male Tauren came out?
Right, exactly. That's a lot of beef.
Whoa,
it was insane.
Yeah, it is a little. So
anyway, it was supposed to be innocent, but it wasn't. So thanks, Chris Robinson. Thanks a lot, pal. He's the wheeze.
That's awesome.
Me in trouble at work.
That's awesome. Another thing that they released this week, or actually, I guess it was last week, probably, is the Reigns of the Dread Raven. It's a mount,
right?
And it looks very similar to another mount that I went through Sethic Halls for hundreds of times or whatever it was. Darius, what's the mount?
It's the Raven Lord one. I can't remember the exact name of it, but yeah, it's got the same color scheme and everything.
Yeah, but it's probably gonna fly.
Yeah.
So here's
I
know Colt agrees with me on this. It's pretty ugly.
I gotta tell you, like everyone seems to love this mount, and I wonder if I'm alone, I don't really dig it as much. I don't know why. Everyone's like, oh, this looks amazing. I'm like,
yeah.
That's funny.
It looks like they took maybe that Ravenlord mount or the flame talon of Alistar's or something and just kind of made it fly. I don't know. It's just I'm not digging it.
It's cool. I mean, it's got a lot of detail and a lot of stuff on it, and I dig stuff, baby. I do. But I don't know. It's not jump. I mean, do you like this mount, Zug? Are you like, yes?
No, I don't. I have problems with this mount as well, but it's not because of the look or anything like that. It's because that it flies, and I went through Sethic Halls how many times to get the damn Raven Lord, and now they're just giving it away. And the
better version.
The internets say that it might be like the collector's edition mount.
Ooh.
And then there's also a pet that goes along with it. So it could be collector's edition. I mean, this is very, throwback to Draenor and all that kind of stuff, to Outland, I guess. And so this could be for the collector's edition. And if it flies, I don't like it, obviously. I spent too long going through Sethic Halls and trying to get that damn mount. That's all I'm saying.
But remember that you can't fly at the beginning of Warlords, actually, for the first couple of months. So I wouldn't stress about that, buddy.
So then everybody just gets the Ravenlord mount. Oh, jeez.
That's right. But the little pet, I mean, he's pretty adorable. I mean, my goodness, he's cute.
Well,
he's a little, he's adorable.
He looks like
if
a little.
If it just go on sale, this might be the first mount I don't buy.
Wow. Right. You bought the $15 hats, all 3 of them.
All of them, yeah.
Oh,
but this one, I don't know. I'm just not digging it.
Yeah, I would never purchase this off of the store. That's for sure.
Right.
Just kind of like I would never purchase the bat mount, whatever that one is, only because I played a troll druid for a couple of years or a year and a half or whatever it was before I switched to Alliance, and I'm done being a bat. I'm fine with that.
Right.
I feel like after the last mount they sold me, the one that just came out, it's got 2 heads, it's got rocket boosters on it.
Yeah.
If the next mount that comes out doesn't have something like that, then what am I doing? I'm just downgrading at that point. Like,
it's does this thing have a rocket booster on it? Come on, let's go.
Doesn't have rockets and 4 heads, then I don't want it.
Like lasers shooting out of its eyes or something like that. I mean, that would be great.
Insane. You're insane.
Love all that.
You're insane. I like this idea, though. Let's simplify. Let's just take it easy. We got Afterburn. Just whoa. Let's everybody calm down. You know what I'm saying?
Go big or go home.
No, let's ease out. We don't need flamethrowers and, all this crazy thing.
Flamethrowers. That's what I want. I want flamethrowers on there now.
No.
I want to be able to do what Deathwing did in Cataclysm. When I fly over an area, it just covers it in fire.
Right. Like at the open for the cinematic for Kata. Yeah.
You got to admit, though, that was pretty awesome back in the day when Deathwing would like torch a zone. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, that was cool.
Fill up. Deathwing's in Uldum, and everyone would fly to Uldum and
try to get
because they wanted the achievement.
Fire. Yeah. And now you could get it. You could get it in Dragon Soul by just dying to like fire on any of the platforms from Deathwing or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
It doesn't specify. It just says die from the fire of Deathwing. So it's like, all right, well,
yeah.
Let's just stay fire on this.
I think I got it on like this really low level tune as I was going around. I was like trying to chase him all over Azeroth, and then, one day I'm just kind of screwing around on like a level 15 or something. And I'm like, oh, I'm dead. All right.
Okay, that's awesome.
Great.
Smites you.
That's right.
But I don't know, man. I dig the mount. I actually will be getting the collector's edition for sure because it's the collector's edition. Come on, I'm a collector and I need my edition. So it makes sense, and it does look cool. Like it could be maybe it's like this honorable. Well, I don't know. I don't really like it, but maybe I don't know. I kind of dig getting away from the afterburners though, personally.
Well, and the pet looks like a pet. It's
cute.
Yeah, it's kind of cute-ish, but I don't know. I
got a Marine, that flies and shoots things. I got a Sir Merkalot,
Yeah. I've got a lot cooler pets. That's that. Yeah. I've got
this pet doesn't have rocket boosters, so
I've got the Blossoming Ancient.
Yes.
And I have that pet follow me around when I'm on my druid because makes sense, right?
Right.
There's a pet you could get.
Have you seen it?
It's you buy it. It's in a cave. There's this vendor in a cave somewhere in like the north of I don't remember exactly what zone it's in, but it's this one vendor, and he sells one pet, and it's a druid, and it's really cool. It's this one-off thing where it's a druid tree, and if you put it in water, like leave it near water or something, it drinks it through its roots, and it actually gets bigger. The pet get bigger. Yeah.
Where is this? I need this.
Where it is.
I need this. I need all the druid pets. I need them all.
And it's really cool that it grows. Yeah, it's called Withers. That's what it's called. Yeah,
Withers. All right.
Look that up. Wowhead.
All right.
There's an awesome pet.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's totally in the middle of nowhere. Like unless you knew about it, you'd have no idea where to go get it.
I had that pet in Wrath. I was playing a resto druid in healing in Wrath during progression, and it's this cute little tiny little tree druid that follows you around, and then he falls asleep. If you don't, he just sits there.
He's so cute.
Oh, he's adorable. He's adorable.
Oh, that's
he's a little awesome. Tree ant, little tree druid.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. We should move along though, because there's so much more to talk about this week. This week actually marks the end of the first week of filming for the Warcraft movie.
Woo!
I know. This is cool, man.
It's happening. It's happening.
We're excited already. It's not coming out for 2 years. We're fine.
I know, totally. Holy cow.
Yeah. This is that animated short that they're doing, right?
Yeah. It's going to be 10 minutes long, and it's just it's an orc and a dwarf.
Oh my gosh. Duncan Jones at Man-Made Moon said, third day done and dusted, late finish, but work we can be really proud of. All departments nailing it. Even catering brought their A game.
Right. And to which somebody replied, please tell me that you're calling it Warcraft Services. That's you call it.
No.
Craft Services is the name for catering.
Fortune cookie level.
I know.
I love it.
I know, but I thought it was funny.
Oh,
I thought that one was funny. Sorry, Halinka, I don't find your Pat Crane thing very funny, but that's
Come on, Celestial Cheesy. Gently Pat Crane.
Right.
Brilliant.
Right.
They're up in Vancouver, aren't they? So the food up there is really good, so I would hope.
Yeah. Canada, man.
Sandwich.
Canada.
So we're getting there, man. They're getting some filming done.
Only 2 years longer, and we'll be there.
Countdown.
It is kind of cool that it's happening, and Darius, since you live so close, you should just pop up there.
Yeah, I went up and visited, and well, I'm not allowed in Canada anymore, so
because of that.
That happened. So
because of your travels, you are no longer. It was
more just ahead of time. I think some people in our guild are in Canada. They heard I was going. They alerted the authorities. You know.
Oh, gotcha. No, I
got to the border and they were like, "No, sorry."
I hear you on that one. All right,
we're sorry. Or sorry, we're sorry.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Get oot. All right, get oot. You're not allowed. All right, let's move to the rating news.
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is rating news.
All right, it's time to check out what's happening with rating news around World of Warcraft. And first up, we had a wave of account bans this week that were sounds like it's pretty big. That hit a lot of different accounts for World of Warcraft, and of course, Blizzard is not really saying much about this. They're saying as little as possible, actually, because they don't want to tip off the creators of these. Well, Darius, why don't you explain it
specifically? What you're saying?
They do this purposely every time that something like this happens because they feel like if they give away too much information, then they're gonna give away how their process works and how they go about it.
Right. But it's because of certain add-ons or whatever bot programs, essentially.
Yeah, there's a program out there that the speculation is this is what caused it, and it, from what I can tell, it looks like it's maybe a PvP interrupt bot or something like that. Like it will, you see it. I mean, you might not see it, but you know, people will in PvP. They'll interrupt your spell a tenth of a second after you cast it, and you're like, how are they doing this? Well, supposedly this is it. You know, it instantly interrupts, and then supposedly they were able to figure out a way to catch that and ban a bunch of people.
Yep. It's
just real quick. When you were earlier talking about it, and Blizzard's not talking about it.
Yeah.
What they mean is, what you guys are actually saying is, they're not talking about why someone is banned. You're just getting an email that says, "Hey, you're banned."
Right.
And they're not saying why.
They're not really saying anything.
Right. They're not saying why they're doing it. They're saying that it's because of certain add-ons that go against their end user agreement, and that is understandable, and especially if it's botting programs or something like that. They kind of alluded to that being the case, that it was a performance enhancing add-ons like bot programs, and they can do and bot programs can do pretty much anything. From gathering herbs or whatever to, I don't know. I mean,
there was a post by Lore on the forums, but it was short. It was maybe a paragraph or two, and then that was it. There was no other statement, no other GM, nothing. And from what's being said on the forums and what people are posting, when you get banned, it just says you're banned. You used a third-party program. That's it. They don't tell you what it was, when it was, anything. They don't tell you anything at all, no matter how much you press. They don't tell you. They just kind of go back to their old, it's our sandbox, our rules. Right. You don't like it, go away. Right. My problem with this, and this people I think seem to be misunderstanding, is from what the forums are saying, it was one of these PvP interrupt bots or whatever. And it's not, from what, again, this is speculation from the forums, but it's not the gathering bots and the bots that are out farming. It's not the gold farmers bots that got banned. So none of that's going to change. It looks like it was mostly this interrupt thing. Right. So you're still going to see just as many bots out there farming stuff, and that's what people really seem to be up in arms about, is ruining game economies and constantly undercutting and duping and things like that. Well, PvP interrupt is frustrating, and I wouldn't want that either. But I don't think this is as good a thing as everyone thinks it's going to be.
As I recall, they actually did do some account bans because of duping. They found that people were able to dupe items in game and duplicate items in game, and then blah blah blah. And I don't know exactly how that system works because I don't do it. I don't try to do it. I don't want to understand it because it's not right, guys. But I heard about bans for that throughout 2013. I mean, at various times. So that is not anything new. However, this thing is where, because of kickbots or whatever bot programs it is, and it sounds like it's actually a couple of different ones out there. But yeah, people are just kind of getting banned, and then they have to go back to them and say, well, no, it might be a false positive because I'm using this smooth ping thing.
Right.
And Darius, what is smooth ping for those guys that don't know what it is?
So smooth ping is just it's basically a proxy or a tunneling service. What it does is it cuts out all the jumps in between you and your house to where the Warcraft server is. So normally when you connect and you're in Los Angeles and you're trying to connect to a server in New York City, your ISP will route you from Los Angeles to maybe Texas, back to Las Vegas, to Florida, then to New York. So you're going through all these jumps and you've got all this unnecessary latency. Smooth ping makes it so that you're going directly from Los Angeles to a data center in New York City, close to where your server is, and then directly to that, cutting out a lot of the middleman. Now, the problem with this is that smooth ping only has a certain number of servers, and there are very often 10, 20, 30 people all connecting on this same server from the same IP address to a Blizzard server. So if one person on there is botting or doing something nefarious, Blizzard very often, and it's likely in this case too, bans everybody that has connected from there, whether they were botting or cheating or not.
Right.
And that's kind of a bummer because they're just assuming that everyone on there is also doing something nefarious when it's just one person.
Right.
It's a tough thing because, it's funny for those that got like an email or something like that. You want to know why. You get an email that suddenly says, I've been this. And let's say, look, it's what they're saying, like 500,000 people. I would assume that some are guilty, that some may be a false positive for some of those.
Right.
But I can understand why Blizzard would not tell you, well, we detected this file and this file means this, because if they say that, then these people, these bot creator programmer guys will then fix that. So Blizzard can no longer detect that. So they can't, I understand that they can't give full details on what they detected or what it's about because they don't want to, get these guys, but, oh, well, if I just work around this and Blizzard won't find it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I get that. But I can also see on the other side too, the frustration if certain players have been banned and they don't know why, and they appeal it or they want to know what's going on. They want to know, just tell me something, like just give me something, not just, hey, you've been banned. We've, found your account, this or that. So I can see kind of both sides. There are some people in this that are guilty. There are people in this, I feel, that might be not guilty.
Right.
So I don't know. It's kind of an odd, weird thing on both sides.
Right. And you said something that we hadn't brought up really, and it was the amount of accounts that are affected or that are supposedly affected. The numbers, even though Blizzard isn't officially releasing any numbers for how many accounts are affected, there have been some rumors that this has affected like 500,000 accounts.
Right.
That is a lot of accounts. That is a ton of accounts. Blizzard only, World of Warcraft only has like 7 million. So, when you compare that to 500,000, that's a big percentage. That's like 10%.
It's a huge chunk.
That is absolutely huge. And you would hope that 10% of the population is not cheating. You would hope.
Right.
Right. Is that even possible? 10%. That's huge.
Yeah. That's a big. It's a lot of people.
It is. It's a lot of people. And then the other question that I have for you is, if they saw a number that big, should Blizzard say, maybe we should take a look at this again because these guys are all paying $15 a month? Are we shooting ourselves in the foot by banning 500,000 accounts? Or do you think that they have, like different numbers that they're looking at where they go, you know what, they're cheating, they're just done. no matter what.
I would look at it from the other side and say, we just banned 500,000 accounts. We're doing something wrong here, as in,
Sure.
how is it that 10% of our population, just got banned? What's going on here? Is our application that insecure, or are we not transparent in our policies or something? Like,
Well,
I mean, that's 500,000 people. I'm sure, I'm sure a portion of them knew what they were doing and whatnot. But if that's out there,
yeah,
if
but
there's
I
a way
figured-
to do it.
But that's something that plagues every single MMO. Every MMO you go into, Lineage 2, anything, that's a big problem. Bots have been around for years and they will continue to be. You know what I mean? You're always going to see in trade chat, go to so-and-so's website for gold. And, the way they're getting gold is by using bot programs or something like that. So this is something that has plagued every MMO for years and will continue. But World of Warcraft is the biggest MMO out there right now. So, I mean, I agree that, this is a problem, but this is a problem that affects every MMO. And WoW is the biggest MMO. It's got 7 million players.
Right.
So wouldn't it be better, though, to, instead of banning 500,000 accounts, a lot of which, or however many amount, were, falsely banned or whatever, wouldn't it be better to, instead of doing that and making 500,000 people very angry, and possibly countless more that lost teammates and things like that, wouldn't it be better to spend that time developing out the holes that these bots have found in your game and patching those things? I mean, yeah, it puts the bots back a couple months and you might have to do it a couple months later, but why be reactive to something like this instead of proactive?
Well, because that's crazy. Because they are working on that. They're working on that every day, just like every other MMO is. Every day they're sitting down trying to figure out how to stop these bots. They just are. Right. And every MMO is that way. I'm not saying, oh, Blizzard this or that. But I don't know, man. They are developing resources.
Well, and when we went to Blizzard, you and I, Colt, we got to see their control room. We got to kind of glimpse inside their control, and their control room is huge. It is huge, and it is filled with people doing things. I have no idea what they were doing, but they were just like people sitting in monitors all over the place, all different size monitors, like on the wall and everything. And so, I mean, it really looks like a huge control room.
It looked like Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, like when they peeked in and all the Oompa Loompas are working and doing their stuff. That's what it looked like.
But for nerds. It was amazing.
Yes.
It was amazing. Just tech everywhere. And it was really incredible to kind of see them do that. And they do that for, I mean, it's more than just security. It's also making sure that the games are running fine and blah, 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 blah. So, they have those people in place doing things daily to try to make sure that this happens. I'm guessing that when they go into ban mode, that it's got to be so big that they need to just, cut off the head.
Yeah, I just hope that with this many accounts, I know there's no way that 500,000, I mean, I don't know, but I would just assume that some of these guys are not guilty, that some of these individuals out of 500,000 were not aware of what's going on or were lumped into this or that, or it was a, quote, false positive. Sure. I just hope that Blizzard has taken the time to go back through, read these appeals, really check it out and find out what's going on, because out of 500,000, I think goodness in people that I don't think that 500,000 people are all hacking, cheating, botting, doing all this bad stuff. So, and for those people that were innocent and that they were banned, I hope that you have appealed the ticket. I'm sure you have. I hope Blizzard is really looking into it and everything can be resolved quickly and easily.
Well, and we know people that we have at least one friend that was banned falsely probably because of smooth ping again, but he went through the process and just submitted a ticket to the GMs and they were like, "Oh yeah, sure, you're back." So
I had it overturned, right?
We have had people like that. We also know people that are still banned. So if your account is banned, I mean, and you don't run any of these programs, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's really strange, especially if you don't use something like smooth ping, like what we were talking about before. That's just kind of bizarre to me.
Yeah,
But-
and Ningatu in the chat room said, look, you can't review 500,000 accounts. There are not enough people to review those. And I agree. That's true. But I mean, just, I don't think that all 500,000 are appealing it. I think there are some people who are guilty and they're like, well, they got that account. Time to start up a new one. You know what I mean? Well, all right.
And I was looking through different website forums and stuff like that as well. And they go, yep, I did it.
Right.
I did it. They got me. Oh boy. Yeah, so there are definitely a lot of guilty folk out there as well. So, I think this is a lesson for everybody out there. If you want to keep your account, don't do that crap.
Right. Just don't do it. There's no reason to it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do it.
Why do I feel like this is an anti-drug campaign from the 1980s?
Yeah, I know, right?
We need Nancy Reagan. Where is she? Come on.
Why do they think they call it dope? Dope. Oh. Dare.
I want to point out though that because we're starting to create some FUD here, some fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's not add-ons that are getting people banned. It's third-party programs. It's running a bot program to do it. Add-ons are not getting you banned. Running add-ons from Curse are not going to get you banned.
No, those are not. Those are
so. There's a lot of people saying that in our chat room, and that's not true.
The add-ons from Curse have been approved through their services, and those all should operate within the end user license agreement from Blizzard. They have kicked off. Curse has regularly kicked off add-ons that go against the end user license agreement. So
yeah, it's people that the way these programs work is they unlock WoW, so you can load add-ons that shouldn't be loaded or run things that you shouldn't, be able to do or things like that. But those are you're downloading those. They come from nefarious sites.
Right.
Cursed add-ons are fine. You're fine. Don't worry about saying like people are saying, oh, they should just ban add-ons from WoW. That's not what's happening here.
Right.
These are external programs that are being used.
Yes. If you are running something that is letting your character run by itself and do things, that is wrong. Right. You need to actually be pressing buttons while you play the game. Yeah. That is the game, is pressing buttons.
Right. If you go to work and your dude is like checking your farm, he goes and he mines some stuff, and then he runs around, he runs a dungeon all on his own. That's not right.
Right.
Something's wrong here. That's no good.
Yeah. So that's when you know that you are cheating in WoW, is if you are doing nothing and your character is doing everything.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Oh man.
All right, moving on.
It's so tough. All right, yes. Now, are you guys happy with the bonus roll system?
Yes.
Yes. Well, Blizzard is too. They've actually come out and said, Celestalon has actually, said, hey, we're gonna probably continue doing that in the future for Warlords. We're gonna keep on doing it. And I don't know if everybody else would agree with them.
What? I think there's people that don't like this? It's more loot. How could you not like this?
I don't like it because it's only a 15% probability that I'll get loot.
That's better than zero. That's better than zero, Pat Crane.
I suppose.
Like he was saying here, I have a love-hate relationship with it too. I love that I can get extra loot, but I hate that when I need the loot, it doesn't drop or I get something else. And there are times where I think, I just wish this system wasn't there because I end up frustrated more than I am happy.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, that's a very good point. When I ran with Rectified and we did the normal raids, we killed all those bosses. I was able to get 2 drops and I rolled and I got double gold on all of them. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh gosh, I just want to. So yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Well, and the other thing too is the grind, right? I mean, the way that lesser coins work and stuff like that. I mean, it's been, and for those guys that were doing all of the dailies in 5.0, I feel sorry for you. But hopefully those guys have stockpiled enough lesser coins to be able to not do anything now. But just the grind of getting these 50 lessers, sometimes it can feel like days until you get those 50. And other times not so much. I know if you run with groups, it's not so bad, but But I don't know.
It's funny. Larindra in the chat room said, most common thing heard on Mumble after a boss kill. Effing gold!
More gold.
More gold.
Yep. Oh, I got Thunderforge gold this time, guys. I got like 80 gold. Awesome.
Crazy.
That's amazing. I don't know.
So or worse. Oh, I got the regular version of the Thunderforge weapon I already have. Or, oh, look, I have 4 of this trinket now. Because that's not even, I mean, you'll sell that for less than you probably would have gotten in your gold bag.
Yeah, I suppose.
And you know that there's something, you look at a boss and you're like, man, I really need this trinket off this boss. But there's like 6 other things that could possibly drop for you. And you know that, yeah, it's a 15% chance you're going to get loot, but that's out of the 6 things that you could possibly get. So your numbers, your percentage drops to like 1%.
Right.
You're actually going to get what you need.
I actually I'm weird. I kind of wait, the window pops up and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll count to 3 or 4 and then I'll hit it. And then it rolls, and then I wait for if you notice, if it hesitates, if there's a little bit of a glitch, that means you got gold, or you got a beast, you got something.
Right.
But if it just goes smooth, then you're screwed. It goes right to gold. But if it does this little glitch, you go, and then you get.
Do I have something? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you're a little superstitious when it comes to rolling.
Yeah, but I'm like, I am. I got like a rabbit's foot in my bags. Like I'm crazy superstitious with WoW loot. I always I hesitate to loot at first because I think the game needs to I need to put loot on this mob first.
Right.
I don't want to loot right away. I for some reason, I'll wait so the game can catch up to know to put loot on this corpse. I'm crazy. I'm very superstitious with WoW loot. I'm a weirdo. Right. I fully acknowledge.
Oh man. So now, do you guys think that there should be any changes to this system for warlords as we kind of approach that? Is there any ways that you can see to make this a little bit better for players, or better for Blizzard, or anything along those lines at all? I mean, as long as we're chatting about it right now.
I would say for me, I like it now that the lesser charms are something that you get while you're doing other things. So it doesn't feel like work. I can go to the Timeless Isle, get some stuff, kill a whole bunch of mobs, and then, hey, I've got 50 lesser charms. This is great. Yeah. Versus the system before, I felt like it was a grind because I was like, oh, I got to do these dailies in order to get the lesser charms. And that's when I didn't like it. Because, look, this is a bonus system, but you still want to have it. You know what I mean? Every week when you go to your raid, you want to have your coins. So I kind of like how it is now, at least with Timeless Isle, that you get it while you're doing other things. So in Warlords of Draenor, I would love it if maybe this was part of a quest reward, or like they're doing it now. When you kill mobs, you have a chance to drop these lesser charms. Yep. I like to get these little things while I'm doing other things. I don't want it to be the focus. I have to do this to get these lesser charms so I can get the bonus roll.
Yeah, because initially they had them tied just to the quest reward for dailies. Right. And now they have it as a part of the mob, so it's a mob drop instead of a quest reward, which is, and I agree, much nicer and much easier to get those 50 lessers instead of having to do 50 dailies or whatever it was.
Exactly. Ugh. I want to get it as we go along. In fact, the chat room is saying actually make the lesser coins BOA. Bind on account.
Oh, that would be great too.
What do you think of that?
Get on that one, Blizz. Do
it.
Let's
Celestalon.
I have 3,000 on one tune, but I'm constantly grinding on another tune just to get coins.
Right. And you did say the magic word, so we have to do this.
Blame, 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 blame.
You have
blame, 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 blame. Celestalon, Celestalon. Blame, Celestalon, Celestalon.
You're such a goof.
Oh, I love it. Blame Celestalon.
That's right. That's right. Now we've talked about this before. One last question for you before we move on. We've talked about how the lesser coins may be included in on the Asian in-game store for Asian servers because they have a different way of doing WoW over there. And do you think that Blizzard should look at putting that over here or no?
Darius, what do you think?
No.
Why?
Oh, why? Oh, I mean, we just play the game differently. You know, we're over here grinding and spending more time playing the game than they do over there. You know, they play kind of by the hour.
Right.
Whereas we're just, you know, we just sit in front of our computers and grind it out. I think if they can revamp the system a little bit, something like Colt was talking about, you know, as I'm leveling from 85 to or 90 to 100, I'm banking coins then, you know, or as I'm killing.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Bank coins while you level? What?
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Colt, how about you?
Yes.
Yes, you want them on the store?
Yes. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yo.
Because
I want these on the store. I do. And I know that it's going to cause a lot of people being very angry.
Pay to win. That's what he wants.
It's not pay to win. Is it really?
It's pay for a chance of loot. How is that not pay to win?
Pay to win.
Well,
you're not actually buying the loot, I guess. You're buying a chance for the loot.
I don't know. People are like real sensitive. Like anything they can find, they're like, pay to win, pay to win, pay to win. Like, just calm down, guys. Come on. just go easy. Ease off the throttle.
Right.
I mean, really.
Right.
So I would love to have this on the store. I think it'd be great. If by some chance I wasn't able to do this or that and I don't have a lot of time to play WoW. Like there's people, you know, I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't want to get into the whole thing because then it's pay to win, but I think it should be on the store. Because for people that maybe don't have as much time in game, that they can, if they want to choose to do this, then they can. You know what I mean? You don't have to buy it off the store, you know?
Yep.
So, but if you don't have time to gather them, if they're there on the store, I'm buying them. I think it's a great thing.
I'm buying them. That's
right.
it.
Pay to win.
It's a 15% pay to win. It's not a full pay to win.
That's right.
Because that would just be buying the actual loot.
It's a pay for a chance to win.
Pay for a chance to win.
That's right.
We'll enter you into this raffle, and you can...
See, the chat room's already mad at me.
Of course
that is pay to win. Everyone's mad. I don't know.
They are.
No respect
you know what's
for
funny?
you
Somebody
anymore.
said it's like buying a lottery ticket. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
you're paying for a chance to win.
Exactly.
Like a lottery ticket, but just way better odds than the lottery.
Right. 15% chance. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move it along to the next story, which is about more rating stats. We've seen a lot of rating stats come out from MMO Champion, and this week was no different. They released, actually this week, they took a look at class popularity, I guess. Not necessarily class balance, but class popularity with Heroic Siege of Orgrimmar rating. And we see a lot of different colored lines that indicate number of players or percentage of players for like the first boss, the middle boss, and then the end boss, right? Are you guys seeing anything that's cool or different? Darius, it looks like priests are up there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm confused why it's just not all priest.
Right.
It confuses me here.
Right.
But no, I think it's interesting, though, that if you look at both Rogue and Warlock, there's significantly more Rogues and Warlocks in on Garrosh kills than Dark Shaman or Mercius.
Why do you think that is? Is it because of some of the cooldowns that they bring, or...?
Yeah, and it's probably to do with that. Their mobility. They're pretty mobile, getting around and dealing with things like that. Probably things like the engineers, the siege engineers in that fight, getting up and killing those guys. Because you see a drop in Death Knights and Paladins and Shamans in the same way. You know, a Mercius Dark Shaman, pretty common, but you get to Garrosh and Death Knights, Paladins, and Shamans are less represented.
Is it because of, you know, like smoke bombs and blah blah blah? I mean,
probably,
like all the different rating cooldowns.
Death Knights bring less of a raid utility than a, you know, something else. But I mean, Paladins I think is a little weird for Heroic Garrosh. That's such a low number compared to Mercius and Dark Shaman.
Then again, when you look at how many guilds have downed Heroic Garrosh, it's not that many.
Yeah, it's still pretty early, believe it or not.
Right.
For Heroic on Garrosh. I know, you know, the monk numbers are low. I mean, they're low just overall.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I do know that like a Brewmaster monk on Heroic Garrosh is almost key. You know, with that kiting those ads, throwing them barrels, that's a big deal. I know I've talked to a lot of raid teams that have killed Heroic Garrosh, and they said, man, if we didn't have a brewmaster, we'd be in real trouble.
Right.
Just because of their kiting ability. You know, they can kite like crazy.
It'd be good to see the breakdown, like, of the monk, how much of that is brewmaster or, Mistweaver.
Having a
you're looking at something like,
nice.
Garrosh, it could be that whole bar could just be brewmaster monks.
And I think it is without a doubt. I mean, Windwalker monks are pretty rare in heroic level raids. And, I've been now really getting into the monk community, you know what I mean? And they're starting up sites like chiburst.com, and elitist jerks and the monk forums with Kalindra are really getting popular again, which is great. But it's like the Windwalker monk especially is this very small, tight community. And if we hear that a Windwalker monk was in a heroic Garrosh kill, it's like, what? It's like pretty rare. You know what I mean? Because Windwalker monks, some people call them the mages of melee. They don't tend to bring a lot of
look at you bringing the mage back.
That's right, baby.
You're bringing the mage to monks, which is weird.
I bleed blue.
Right.
I will always be a mage at heart, but I happen to absolutely love the monk. But Windwalkers, it's pretty rare. I guarantee these stats is more brewmaster than Windwalker for sure.
And I don't know about Mistweaver. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of an interesting thought to think about. Maybe some of the paladin numbers are ret paladins are not being used because they're switching over to warlock or something like that. Something weird like that. Who knows? But at least druids are way up there. It's like 12.5%, pretty steady, man. I like seeing that.
Druids, not restos.
They're all balanced. Yeah. No restos whatsoever. No, actually, restos are pretty good this time around. And then along with that, MMO Champion also did something like this for Heroic Madness of Deathwing last time around in Cataclysm. And obviously, we don't have the monk in that stuff, but they just kind of gave it to us for a little bit of comparison. And I'm looking at the numbers for Heroic Madness at the time when it was, I think they had about 100 guilds or something like that. Actually down Heroic Madness at the time. And the hunter numbers were super low because hunters were struggling throughout that time. And I'm like, yeah, that's when I was playing hunter, and it was just, it was horrible. Yep. It was no
Less
good.
Less than 5% for hunters.
It was so bad for hunters. Ugh.
And priests are right up at the top again, man. What's the deal with priests?
Yeah, I know. What is the deal with priests, Darius?
I mean, we're awesome. What more do you need there? Just, jeez. I mean, druids were bad back then. Druids are bad now. So
what?
We're just taking over.
No.
I think it's interesting though. If you look at this, almost the numbers are almost the same for every class except hunters and rogues.
Yeah.
They're all about 7.5% total of percentage of total players, except hunters, which are down under 5, and rogues, likely due to the legendary, were one of the highest classes in Deathwing. But when you get to Siege of Orgrimmar, they're on par with monks.
Some of the other DPS classes. Yeah. That's for
speaking of monks. Go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
Actually, it's good to see though that like the percentage of total players in on these kills is almost the same though. There's this parity between the end of last expansion and this expansion between the amount of people that are playing, the class and probably sticking with it. Mages are staying with mages and whatnot. People aren't swapping all around, which is a good thing.
It's a good point, actually. Right. What I was going to say about monks, chat room, is that monks are not a 2-button class like the mage. All right.
So you're admitting that mages are a 2-button class.
No,
is that it? Is that what you're doing?
Yep. I heard
you're
it.
Totally admitting that it's a 2-button class.
What have I done? What have I done? No.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
I will say, Windwalkers, man, that's a lot of abilities. There's as many abilities as like Enhancement Shaman. Like, it's crazy, but that's why I love it. It's so engaging. There's so much to it. And Windwalker monks, amazing as far as personal stay alive abilities. Lots of that jazz, baby. but they are. There's a lot of buttons. There's
Monk
a lot
genius.
of buttons in Windwalker.
Monk genius. There we go. I'm sorry. Play that again. There we go.
Yeah. Sorry, mages. I love you. I love you, mages. I took the bait. That's what Sarkast started saying in the chat room.
That was funny.
I took the bait.
I like
You got
it. I like it. All right. Let's move it.
One more thing I want to point out. I just realized reading this.
Yeah.
MMO Champion says that this data is all culled from 8.5 million characters on 3.2 million accounts, 3.2 million rating accounts. They say there's no date restriction on this.
Right.
That means if there are 3.2 million rating accounts and Blizzard just banned 500,000, that's a much larger percentage than if we're saying 7 million accounts.
Right. That's
so a huge
if half the people are rating. Yeah, exactly. So what's the percentage on that all of a sudden?
I mean, you're looking at instead of 10%, you're looking at,
15, 20, almost 20%.
Yeah, that's huge.
That doesn't mean that all those accounts are raiders, though. They could be PvPers. They could.
Yeah, I suppose.
No, that's true. But I mean, you've got to assume that some of these. I mean, they don't say that these are 3.2 million accounts that have killed heroics. They're just saying these are 3.2 active accounts.
Gotcha. So yeah, it's a big deal, man. It is a big deal, I think. All right, let's move it along into some leading the raid.
Leading the raid.
All right, when we can, we'd like to take a look at leadership issues for raid leaders everywhere. This week we have a viewer question, and it's not really from a raid leader, but it is about leadership stuff that we'll get into. Koltrane, can you help us out with this letter, please?
Mage in the chat room said, next time we need a port, Colt, take the flight path. I think I've upset the mages. Oh dear. I think I might have crossed the line.
I like where this is going.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You bleed blue and see what it gets you.
I know, right?
All right.
From a concerned pally, says, hey guys, long-time listener, first-time correspondent. Wow.
Correspondent, yes.
I dig it. I'm currently raiding with my raid team that's been together 6 months on Moonguard. Oh boy. Hey, all right. And we recently started doing heroic Siege of Orgrimmar progression. We took down heroic Narushan's trial easy enough, but are currently working on the heroic Galakras encounter. While we are handling the encounters, things could be better in a couple of areas, like the healers are struggling in some places and DPS could be higher just simply from a numbers standpoint. The problem is, a large majority of the raid is against the idea of going back to normal mode to grab some extra gear that could ultimately help us out in the long run. I've spoken with our raid leader and he's of the mindset that since we've downed normal garage, we don't need to go back because we can just bash our heads against heroics until loot falls out. I'd normally be okay with this mentality, but the thing is, some members of our team have massive upgrades they could still get from doing normal mode bosses and even get Warforged pieces of existing gear pieces that they already have. But because we're spending all 3-hour raid nights bashing our heads against 2 heroic raid bosses with no loot progression, this seems very counterproductive. Am I completely off base in my thoughts? Is there a way to convince my teammates otherwise? If not, should I just grin and bear it and watch our team's morale drop as the loot slowly trickles in from 1 progression boss a week when we could be blowing through normals, getting gobs more of loot that will aid in our cause of taking down the heroic progression bosses? One last thing, let's also assume leaving the team is really an option, hypothetically speaking. Would love to know what you guys think. Thank you very much.
So we're talking about heroic progression and how teams may want to handle this. And we're looking at, in this example, it's a 3-night a week, 3-hour time, so 9 hours a week, raid team going through heroic progression. And Darius, what are your thoughts on the way that you should do something like this?
I think this raid team right now is a ticking time bomb. This is going to explode. You need to be running through normals getting gear. Even if you get 1 or 2 pieces of gear, the entire run, that person that got it is now 5 or 10% better on their numbers, on their DPS, on whatever. Blowing through normal modes, even if they're easy, is a huge morale booster. You're having fun, you're joking, you're killing bosses, no one's wiping, you're enjoying yourselves. Because 3 hours a night, 3 nights a week, 9 hours on the same boss, that can really wear on you.
Right.
I'm not sure where your raid leader got this idea that you don't need to be doing this, because even the world first guilds do this. When they know they can't kill a boss on heroic and they can't finish that week, they clear the rest of the place on normal. They get as much gear as possible.
Right.
You're really hurting yourself by not getting this extra gear for sure. Even if it means one of your raid nights, if your 9 hours, you're spending 3 hours clearing out, every week that 3 hours is going to get shorter. It's going to become 2.5, 2. It's going to be coming a lot quicker, and you're going to be seeing incremental increases on damage and healing on the bosses you are doing on heroic. I mean, you've got to talk to your raid leader. I'm not sure what you could say here, though. Maybe Colt can help on that, but this is a recipe for disaster.
Yep. Koltrane, thoughts on this?
It starts with calmly looking him in the eye or through mumble and say, "You crazy!" That's how it would start. Started with a little bit of that. Nice little intro, little juice, have a little taste. But I think, and like you're saying, man, if it's 3 nights a week, if you want, do the first 2 on heroic attempts, then the third night is a full-on normal clear. You know what I mean? Final Boss TV in our chat room said switching from normal heroic rating means you should devote a portion of your schedule to heroic and then normal for the rest of the reset. You know what I mean? And Darius was talking about it too. Even the best players in the world will still devote 1 night of rating to clearing normals. Because like Darius said, you can still get one little piece of jazz that's going to help you get that boss down. Right. So you should still be clearing normals. And when you're banging your head on a heroic boss, this is what happens. This is how raid teams quit. This is what happens. This causes frustration of wiping all night, all 3 nights in a row. This is why players leave the game. They leave raid teams. Morale gets low. Kill some normals. Just do 1 night of normals. Feel good for morale. You get some upgrades. You'll be good to go.
Yeah, if you're 10-man, you're getting 2 pieces of loot when you do finally kill this heroic boss. Those 2 pieces of loot you get are not going to be enough to get you over the next boss's hurdle, because especially in Siege of Orgrimmar, they get progressively harder.
Right.
The Galakras is whatever hardness, and then Iron Juggernaut is 20% harder than that, and then 20% harder. Right. But 2 pieces of loot aren't going to make up for that 20%. If you barely squeaked by, you're going to be seeing wipes at 30-40% on Iron Juggernaut on your best attempts.
Right. And let's hope that, as you go through, that you are clearing at least in flex. I mean, at the very least in flex. I mean, that's going to give you 540 gear, right? And then normals is 553. So you do get a substantial boost when you actually clear this stuff in normals. And if you're not doing minimally a full flex clear every week, then you're really hurting yourself. I mean, come on, people, you need some of these trinkets. You need to get some of this gear going so that you can accomplish the goal, which is to defeat these heroic bosses, right? So, I mean, absolutely do a portion of it for just a full clear. I mean, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. So now, how do you? I mean, other than Koltrane, are you crazy? What else can you say to your raid leader or your team as if you're trying to make an argument for doing it?
I think that you could gather up as a group so you're not just the one guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Talk to some of the fellow raiders. If you approach the raid leader, maybe it's before raid or after raid. You know what I mean? Actually, probably before would even be better, because after raid, everyone's tired. They want to get the heck out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would, before the raid, approach the raid leader and be like, listen, man, there are several pieces of loot that can drop off these bosses that would be huge upgrades for this player, this player, this player, and this player. I really would wonder if we could just devote 1 night to just clearing normals, or maybe even 2, to help us get this gear that's going to help us push our way over those bosses.
Sure.
To sit there and say, well, we've killed normal garage, so we're done with normals, is crazy, because there's always loot that you can get. Yeah, so definitely talk to the raid leader before, and maybe you do it maybe as a group. I mean, you don't want to gang up on the guy, but you don't want to be the the lone complainer. You don't want to be known as the troublemaker.
Or,
you know what I'm saying?
Or how about this? How about you actually go and you do a spreadsheet, and you take everybody's armory and you go, okay, here's everybody's loot. Here are the different upgrades that these people need. And so we have this, and this for all these different guys. And these are some pretty major upgrades for these guys. And here is proof that we should be doing normal clears. That's another way of doing it. It's kind of the math route, right?
And I mean, that spreadsheet can help too in that if you save lockouts later on, you've got an alt you bring or something, and you don't need bosses 4 through 7, or 4 through 10, then don't kill those every week. If no one needs loot, save a lockout every week on an alt at, the 11th boss and just clear 11 through 14. Save yourself some time there. Use the spreadsheet. Zug's right.
I'm right?
I think that's,
hey, hold on a sec. I'm right? That's awesome. I love it.
That spreadsheet's a really good idea. In fact, maybe if not a spreadsheet, if you're not an Excel man or have trouble making them, just an email, list a character and say, these are the upgrades they could get. Here's the next character. These are the upgrades they could get. And this could even just be an email to the raid leader, just to kind of, so he can physically see it. You know what I mean? Oh, well, this would be a big benefit. Right. You know what I mean? Visualization is huge for people. Some are visual learners. Some can learn from reading, but
yeah.
Do you think that they should approach them as a group or individual or just an email? What do you guys think?
It depends. And from this email, it doesn't sound like everybody is necessarily on board with the writer of this particular email. So it sounds like some people are like, yeah, we don't need to clear normals every week or blah, blah, blah. So if that's the case, then I think the math route is probably going to work a little bit better. Just to show everybody, hey, here are the upgrades we can get. Why are we not doing this? Right. As opposed to trying to gather people together. However, if you talk to somebody outside of raid time and you find that you have that similar viewpoint, then that becomes an issue. Then you can go to the next guy and say, hey, do you think that we should be clearing normals to the next guy? And then that way you can kind of gather the forces that way. So I don't know.
This is good. This guy cares about his team, man. He cares. It's good.
Yeah.
If all else fails, just get everyone together and silent protest and sit outside the raid instance and don't go in until you get your loots.
Because that always works.
Until it's set to normal, when you get all like chain hands together.
Yep.
Wow. All right. That's cool. No, but hopefully that helps you guys that are kind of thinking about this, and for our Palion Moonguard that's concerned citizen. Concerned correspondent.
That's right.
All right, let's get into some more questions.
We've got mail.
We do, and if you have a question about anything for us about raiding or anything else, just let us know. We'll try to answer it on the show. You can email us at converttoraid@gmail.com. You can call our raid line, 612-787-RAID, or you can join us during any one of the shows that we do over here on Gamebreaker, any one of the live shows. Try to flag us down. We'll see if we can get to it. And let's go to this first question. And Darius, why don't you help us out here?
This is from Thanatosis on Hyjal. He says, hey guys, love your show. Anyway, down to the nitty gritty. My question is Warforged seals. The cap is 10, but you can only get 3 a week. Don't you think it's time that Blizzard should offer a way to get more than just 3 a week? I mean, come on. I blow through 2 of those, going to the Isle, doing the Celestials and Ordos, leaving me with just 1 for all 4 wings of either Flex or LFR. I mean, the expansion is still a ways off if we're talking August, September timeframe. How about using timeless coins to buy some like you can, the Mogu runes?
Right. So, Koltrane, what do you think about this question?
I completely agree. Earlier we were talking about the frustration that players get when they get double gold. And I think part of the reason of the frustration is because you only have 3. That's it. So I think that leads to that frustration of getting gold. There was a time when for some reason I had stockpiled. I had like 8 or 9 of these Warforged seals. And I would go through a boss and I'd use a coin. And if I got gold, I was totally cool. Well, it's all right. I got another one for the next boss. All right, boom, gold. All right, I'm fine. But the way it is now, and you're right, with Celestials and Ordos, that's your 2, and now you've got 1. So if you've only got 1, you're hoping, well, it's good because you can plan. Okay, well, this is my biggest upgrade will be this boss, and I've only got the 1. But if it's gold, oh man, it brings out the rage. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
If they maybe up the cap to like 6, I think that might be cool. You know what I mean? Just give us a few more. It might cut back on that level of frustration and anger when we get gold.
Right. Well, and here's something funny. So over the holiday break, I was actually really happy because I got to go and get 2 weeks worth of Warforged seals without actually having to go to raid to go and spend them, essentially. And then so the next raid time, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I can just, like I have a 50, like every other boss, I can do this. I can blow, I can roll on some new gear. And it was great. And then the following week, it really hurt.
Right.
It's like, oh no, I only have 3 this week and there are 14 bosses? I have to really pick and choose which ones I can roll on this week. Right. So, yeah, and before when we had raid instances of less than 10, it felt a little bit better. But when you have 14 bosses and you can only roll 3 times a week, it's a little tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little tough. I'd like that. I don't know. Maybe bump that up to 5. 5 a week.
6.
6. How about 10 a week?
Well, no, I like this idea that we're not just using them, that you do have to choose wisely. I dig that. I think that's a good thing. But when you get so few, if you do get gold, that's why you get so angry, because that's your one, or that's it. I got one more and that's it, so.
Right.
I'd say let's crank it up a little bit.
Or how about this? If you roll in LFR and you don't get loot, your Warforged seal comes back to you.
Yeah, right. You get a mulligan?
Yeah, you get a mulligan.
Mulligan?
You get a mulligan. It's totally cool.
Right. I think you're both wrong.
Of course you do.
There we go. Yep. I've agreed way too much.
Right.
In this podcast with both of you.
We see way too much eye to eye. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
On a lot of this stuff.
I agree.
So,
but I mean, if you're doing flex, LFR, normals, you're rolling all that, I think it's good to have a priority system. Using Ask Mr. Robot is so good at this. Go in there and it has a coin feature and it tells you this is the boss you should be coining on. It not only looks at what gear drops, but it looks at what's of that gear, what's the best upgrade for you. But if this boss drops 6 pieces and only one's an upgrade, your chance of getting that piece is really low. So it tells you, don't roll on this. Save it for garage, because there's a 10% chance that you're actually going to get the item you need and you're going to get something. Have a priority system. Use those 3 very wisely. If you only need 1 belt off of the Celestials, that's probably not the best place to be doing it if you already have a flex version of it. Or Ordos. If you have a normal version and you want the Warforged version, that's probably not the best place to be using it. Look at if you've got a 476, main hand, then you should probably be looking to coin only main hands.
Or maybe you should be doing Throne of Thunder. 476?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Have this priority system. 3 coins is not a lot, but if you use them in the most efficient way, you're going to see a better return.
Yep.
And again, Ask Mr. Robot is so good at that.
It really is.
So check that out.
For sure.
That's a great point.
Good point. All right. Let's go to the next one.
Wrong.
Let's go to the next one. I'll read this one. Oh, boy. It says, this is from Hollowshine.
Hey! This is the guy we did the story about, the Christmas story.
Yeah, you did the Christmas story about it. It was cool. All right, this says, hey guys, every argument I hear about why people can't raid usually starts with scheduling problems. I feel like more people would get into real, quote-unquote, real raiding. This is him, not me, saying anything about real raiding. If it wasn't such a pain to find people with similar schedules and experience levels. I've never had so much fun in the game, and it's all because of the awesome CTR community. Well, thank you, first of all. However, most players aren't in communities like this and have a huge disadvantage. What if the game had a raid finder tool that wasn't just a raid finder, but a raid team or raid guild finder? It could have a different search filters for specific days and times, as well as current progression and so forth. A raid leader could post their team and what they're looking for. A player could search, and if they are the role that matches the team's filters, if they are the role that matches the team's filters, it matches them up and networks them together with either a real ID or in-game mail or something else built into the interface. This would help by giving people one single place to look in-game. P.S. I'd like to nominate Darius as the official Guild Bat Guano Treasurer for 2014.
Yeah!
Which is good. I think that if you have Bat Guano, go ahead. Send it to Darius.
I would accept that nomination.
Grandpa on Airy Peak.
Yep.
So, guys, what do you think about not just a raid finder tool, but a raid team or a raid guild finder tool?
I think it's genius.
Isn't this already in the game? A guild finder tool where you can specify what type of guild you are, what you do, whether it's raiding, PvP, hardcore, casual, and also what you're looking for.
There is something like that. There is.
Yeah.
Nobody uses it.
Yeah, no.
Nobody uses it at all.
But it doesn't have specific raid times, or you know what I mean. It's like more of a general thing. Like, what kind of a guild are you looking for? You're looking for a role play guild, a hardcore guild. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's a guild finder tool, not really a raid finder tool. Yeah.
Right. But it doesn't say like I'm looking for something Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. server. You know what I mean? That would be perfect for me. It's kind of a funny thing because you're right. Like CTR, we've got 90 some odd raid teams. It's this big, giant raiding community. Right. And like for me, when I found Rectified, I was searching the forums. We have a thing called team pages, and teams post their times of when the team raids. So it said like Rectified, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. server on Saturday. And I was like, oh, actually, that would work great for my schedule. So I clicked their link and hey, looks like they're looking for another DPS. Perfect. If they had something similar like this in-game where people could post the times that they were looking for, people could scroll through, read, oh, yeah, I could do a Tuesday, Thursday. That'd be perfect. Right. From this time to that would work great. If that was in the game, that'd be phenomenal.
Right. And
I think that'd be a great tool to have.
I mean, it kind of is in-game because, I mean, there is the Guild Finder tool, but the problem is that nobody uses it. The GMs don't use it. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
And so it becomes this really big issue, and it just becomes, and because I think people find that on most servers anyway, you get guild invite spam if you don't have a guild already, and then you're like, oh geez, here's another guild that's spamming an invite. Thanks a lot, guys.
I mean, how do you think we got all of our members?
Right. Right, just actively spamming people invites.
Yeah,
that's right. Exactly.
No, that's not what we do. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, they could revamp it a little bit, I guess. I just kind of wonder if people are going to be using that, however. I don't know,
man. You'd be surprised. I mean, you're right, though. I mean, a lot of people also, too, with the Guild Finder, you can't really sort it, kind of, in a way. And I think some are saying in the chat room that you can put days on there, just not times. But I don't know. This is something that could be cool. This could be something that would really help people out because you're right. You know, some people don't have this big, giant raiding community. Yeah. So it's very easy for us, but not for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I think that something is definitely needed. I'm a big, strong supporter of any community activity because I think that this game is only appreciated more when you're playing with friends. And people need to be able to find their community no matter how big or small it is, and be able to connect with others that like to do the same stuff that they like to do. So,
Zolmation in the chat room said if they revamp the Guild Finder, I would be so happy to use it.
Right.
And that's true. So right now, no one's really using it. Well, maybe if they revamped it, added some more detail and all that kind of stuff in this, maybe it's to help find a raid team, or then maybe people would start using it.
Yeah. And I mean, since they're doing the revamp for the raid finder tool, maybe they can actually look into doing something like that too. They probably are learning a lot of lessons off of this raid finder tool. So I don't know. That sounds
good idea.
Sounds cool. Sounds cool. All right, I think we are probably going to have to wrap it up here.
All right.
So we're gonna get going here, folks.
Cue music.
Right, I got to play this music.
Ooh.
Because it's time for 5-star reviews from iTunes. Isn't that right, Darius?
What? Yeah. Sorry, I was dancing.
He was dancing.
What do we have for 5 stars this week?
We have Dizilly, we have Trail Rabbit, we have Chrono 3D, we have Lang267, and we have Tyrant866. All 5-star reviews on the iTuneses.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for those. Thanks for the comments and the thumbs ups and all that kind of stuff on our video stuff. Remember, all of our video stuff can be found over at GameBreaker.tv, as well as on our site on Convert to Raid. So make sure to check those out as well. We love you watching the show as, we put on the video show now. That's what we do. Any shout outs this week here, fellers?
I got 2 big ones.
Oh,
I got a shout out to Rune Totem US version 2. They had an 8-minute kill on Garage.
8 minutes?
8-minute kill on Garage.
That's
I'm
crazy.
This is normal. I'm assuming.
I'm assuming too, but still, all big applause.
That's
absolutely
insane.
That's
and
cool.
Props to Zindul for the strat. Zinduul for the strategy for it. And
Awesome.
a big shout out to the members of Rectified. I had a great time with you boys on Tanks, Elder Shield, and Isilidor. Heals, Boonsickle, awesome. Naomi, awesome. And there were 2 mages on the team. So mages, I love you. Come on, this
There's
team's
your
got
problem.
2.
So they had 4 buttons between the 2 of them. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying any of that. At all. But they did awesome deeps. Kiala and Balada. Sarcastord, who's actually in our chat room, was also there. And War Rogue and Ramsteiner was in there as well. So we had a great time. It was a great Saturday morning. Killed some bosses, got some loot, had a great time. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, and I'm gonna kill the music. I'm gonna just bail out.
Gonna bail out
It ruined my
of
fun.
Bailing
Always.
right out of that music. I have to do that before the end, before you get too comfortable, Darius.
That's right. Where you start putting on your hat and your boots.
That's right. Now I'll play. Let's do this one. I haven't played this one in a while.
Little jazz.
That's right.
Hey.
All right. We cannot do this show without you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to rate us on iTunes. Thanks for the feedback. Thank you so much for the questions. Thank you, chat room, for joining us every week. We really do appreciate you guys coming down and having fun with us as we do the live stream. And guys, join us in every conversation we're having. Please email us at converttoraid@gmail.com. You can call and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on Twitter at converttoraid, or even individually, isn't that right? Smooth Jazz Koltrane.
Yes. You can follow Pat Crane at Pat Crane. You can follow Koltrane at _Koltrane. And you can follow the cat Darius at Bored Mind.
There we go. And you feel free to join the Bazuba Nation just by heading over to converttoraid.com. That's where we have show downloads, our forums, our videos, tons of links for raiders, so much more. Our videos also on GameBreaker.tv. Love being on the GameBreaker.
Oh, GameBreaker's great. It's like
That's
the
awesome.
CNN of video games.
It is. And you and I do the GameBreaker show.
Yes,
over
episode
there.
4 is the latest. It's
Right.
crazy, crazy show.
Right, and then you can also catch me on the Legendary over there with Olivia D. Grace.
Ah, Olivia Grace.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, this show is also available on Stitcher, the BlackBerry Podcast Directory, iTunes, all sorts of different places like that, and that is going to be it for the show. We hope you guys had a good time, and thanks for so much for tuning in. We'll see you on our next show next week, our regular time, Sunday, 11 a.m. Central. And for all the guys that convert to raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Woo.
Yeah.